And we are back with another edition of Monday Previews. For our Chicago Blackhawks, we have 3 games on the docket for this week. Starting out Tuesday, when our captain comes back home again to visit, we'll be playing the Winnipeg Jets. Winnipeg is 23, 26, and 9, 55 points. Sitting 6th in the Central Division, 4-3-3 in their last 10 games. All practical purposes, the Winnipeg Jets are out of the playoff picture. So they will be sellers. So what this probably means is the name that I'm hearing is Nito Niederreiter, who has always been a Blackhawks slayer. Odds are good he will be moved at the trade deadline, whether that's Tuesday, unsure. I would assume before Friday's trade deadline he will be moved, but he might be in the lineup still on Tuesday. Notable injuries, Josh Morrissey, who got injured at the Olympics, is still not back. Basically, Winnipeg after that is healthy. Usual suspects for Winnipeg, Mark Scheifele, Kyle O'Connor, and Gabriel Velarde are your top forwards. Logan Stanley on the defensive end, playing a bunch of minutes, mainly because of Morrissey being out. And then you have basically a pedestrian defensive core. Of course, they have Team USA goaltender and all-around gold medalist Connor Hellebuck in net. Now, whether he plays Tuesday, there are no back-to-backs for either team. So I guess it would be a decision for Winnipeg if they were going to start to rest Hellebuck already. I would assume he plays, though. It's been a rough year for the Winnipeg Jets. They had their 12-game losing streak, and that kind of killed everything. Only other news outside from Winnipeg was that our captain, Jonathan Toews, came out and stated that he has no desire to be going anywhere as far as like to a playoff team, since he is only under a 1-year contract, as he put it. I just want to be here. So I would assume he is still in their lineup. Young players to watch. The one is Cole Perfetti, who's had a decent year. Averaging about a half a point a game. They're going to want him to take that jump next year. Again, these are getting to our weird point-in-time games. As I always like to say, those first 15, those last 15, you can kind of throw out as far as evaluating players, especially on non-playoff teams. So we're almost at that position, and Winnipeg also being out of the playoffs. It's a hard grind for everybody. It still should be a decent matchup. A lot of pride on that Winnipeg Jet team. And, hopefully the Hawks can match their work ethic at least. This is going to be a rough stretch for our boys in red also. So that's about it for Winnipeg. Moving on, the next game will be a Friday nighter at the United Center against a team that is a lot worse than Chicago Blackhawks. That would be your Vancouver Canucks, who are just a mess. 18, 34, and 7, 43 points, putting them in the bottom of everything. Division, league, 2-6-2 in their last 10 games, and a team with no direction and not knowing where they're going, no identity. It's been a wacky couple of years for them since they were able to get into the playoffs on a little bit of a magic run. Everything that could have gone wrong has gone wrong. Earlier this year was the trade of Quinn Hughes. So, they're a mess. As to Who will be there? This will be trade deadline day. So who will be there from the Vancouver Canucks? Basically, what I've heard is you've got Philip Hornick, Buiam, Tom Willander, and I believe that's about it that they would not have a problem with trading. So everybody else is on the trade block, so I don't know how that'll all pan out. Evander Kane, I definitely do not expect to be in the Vancouver lineup. I expect him to be traded. Jake DeBrusk supposedly has asked for a trade. Whether that happens or not, your guess is as good as mine. As far as Vancouver, their weapons, Elias Pettersson, who's had another really struggle bus year. Brock Bresser, who hasn't done much better. DeBrusk, who's a meat and potatoes kind of player and has never found that other gear. Player I really like, Connor Garland. I feel awful that he's got to sit through this all the time. It's got to be rough. Defensively, you've got a couple of young defensemen as far as Buiam and Willander. Not a lot of talent there whatsoever, though. There's a good possibility maybe we get Kevin Lankin in net on the Friday night. I don't believe there's back-to-back troubles for either team. Again, I would assume it's Lankinen. It's really difficult to talk about this team. From a Blackhawks perspective, this is a game you better win. And we're coming towards the end of the season, and this is a team that you are, and there's not a ton of them, definitely better than. Who knows? Maybe it's a Lucas Reichel revenge game. Anyway, you chop it. This is one you got to have. So, and again, on the grounds that this is dropping Monday, I would assume at least 2 or 3 of the players on Vancouver's roster right now will not be there. I know Tyler Myers, their other defenseman, is a big talk, so I would assume he's gone also. So we'll see with that. That leaves us to then a Sunday game. We head down to Dallas and deal with the Dallas Stars, who are on a tear and have been there, 36-14-9. And that only gets you second in the Central Division. They are 9-1 in their last 10 games. This is a star-studded lineup. Mikko Räikkönen, as of right now, still has not made it back from his, I believe what they're calling is an upper body injury, but I am unsure, that he suffered in the Olympics. I would assume they want to make sure he's 100% before he starts seeing game action. So this will be another kind of hit or miss one. This is also, we're getting to that point in the season where teams might start to rest certain players, especially against a team like the Blackhawks. So your top guns, Mikko Rantanen, Jason Robertson, who's been on a major tear, Wyatt Johnson, who is coming into his own, considered to be one of the brightest young centermen, and the West does have a lot of them. Mikko Heiskanen on defense, along with Thomas Harley. That's a dynamic duo back there, and I have always been a big fan of Roope Hintz. Again, there's just talent upon talent upon talent. The only thing that came out from Dallas is Tyler Seguin. They have put him on full LITR, which basically means they can use his full cap. So I expect Dallas to be buyers, so there'll probably be a couple other players on this team by the time they meet Sunday. Basically, what that means is Tyler Seguin cannot play in the playoffs. They were hoping upon hoping, but that is just not going to happen for him. Your goaltenders are the Otter and Casey DeSmith. I would assume we see Casey DeSmith, who's also racking up a phenomenal year, a .913 save percentage and a .231 goals against average. His numbers at the end of the day are better than Jake Ottinger, but he is still not the number one, nor will he be. They will pick and choose times for Otter to really crank it up right before the playoffs. This is a game that, you try to hold on to. You try to keep it close, not get too embarrassed. Again, only 3 games this week, so a light schedule for this condensed end, 6 weeks. That is all I have, and we will talk at you next week.